We have some really exciting news to share with the Blackwood Uniting Church faith community. As everyone knows, we have been pre-recording worship services for some months now, pre-recording them and then watching them online in our individual homes. Well, we have been, over the last couple of weeks, slowly transitioning back to live worship, now that a number of the restrictions have eased. As of Sunday, the 12th of July, we're going to be live with worship. And I use that word twice because we will have live worship here at Blackwood Uniting Church for 9:15 and 11 a.m. services, and we will be live streaming the 9:15 service onto the internet. Now, more about that in a moment. But before we share some of this exciting news, first, some safety things. One of the key things to consider as we come back to live worship is, are you well? If you are not well on any given worship day, please take care of yourself and take care of others by going home, by consulting with your doctor, rather than coming to worship. Enjoy and engage with the online worship service instead of live worship if you're feeling unwell, and do please consult your doctor. As we enter the church, the first thing we need to do is hand sanitize. Be careful to make sure that your hands have been sanitized and cleaned. What you'll then need to do after doing so is to fill out the register. What we have is a system in place where you can put in your name and indicate whether you're present on the church registry, and if not, to put in your contact details if contact tracing is required. When we're greeting each other in church as we return to live worship, let's try and refrain from hugs, from handshakes. Let's stay distant but respectful and engaged with however you would like to greet the person that you greet. Stay safe, stay connected. So, as we return to worship, yes, we are spatially distanced within the chapel. You will notice that chairs are widely separated, and this is important in order to reduce the risk of transmission. However, if you are a couple, if you are a family unit, then you do not need to sit 1.5 metres away from each other. You can simply move your chairs appropriately together. So we can still stay safe, but we need to be aware that people do have family units and couples visit. So just keep that in mind when you see the church layout as you enter worship. Rearrange as appropriate. As we meet together in live worship again, we'll be able to participate in Holy Communion together, and we'll be able to do so safely by doing things carefully and wisely. There'll be distribution points where you'll be able to take of the elements of the bread and the juice safely. There'll be individual pieces of bread and individual cups, and they'll be placed in your hands by tongs, by servers who have sanitised their hands, with you having sanitised your own hands. So we're going to do this carefully and safely for all of our benefit. After the worship service, we'll be able to enjoy fellowship with each other and have morning tea, and we'll be able to do so safely. There'll be a single serving point. You will be served. You'll be served your tea or coffee with sugar and milk, whatever you like, and even a biscuit. And we'll be doing it in a way that won't cause any risk of transmission of anything. So once again, we'll be able to do what we've done in the past, but in a slightly different way in order to keep us all safe.
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay, sleep all night and I work all day. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay, sleep all night and I work all day. I cut down trees, I wear high heels, suspenders and a bra. I wish I was a girlie, just like my dear mama.
I think we'd all agree that there are some songs that really shouldn't be sung in church. But what about other singing? What about the normal singing that we do in church? One of the things that we love about worship is being able to sing songs and hymns that are meaningful to us. However, we live in strange days, in the days of the coronavirus, where we have to give very careful consideration to the risk of transmission. Concerns have been raised about the increased risk of transmission when people sing, particularly when choirs sing, when bands sing. Micro-aerosol sprays. There has been ABC News articles where scientists have looked at the spread of aerosols. Now, we've sought advice from Synod and they don't have any specific prohibitions against singing in church. They say that singing in congregations, singing in choirs and bands is permissible, but it's up to individual churches to consider. And so the worship committee has paid very careful attention to this particular question and the concerns raised. And we've come up with a decision, and this is not necessarily going to be cast in stone. We are working this out as we go along, but at least for all of July and maybe till about mid-August, after which we'll review it, we've decided that for the 9:15 service, we're actually not going to have a live band. We're going to have pre-recorded music, and we're going to encourage people to remain seated, and if you do want to sing, to perhaps not do so quite so gustily as you might, to sing rather more quietly. For those of you who might be concerned even still about the increased risk of transmission, we may be able to set up a separate area where, for those who don't want to sing, there might be a no singing zone if you like. These are strange days and we're having to try and plan and do things as sensibly as we can. For the 11 o'clock community, we've decided that we will have organ playing, and because of the lesser numbers in the 11 o'clock community, we'll actually be able to spatially distance the chairs in a way that is hopefully going to keep people safe even with the singing. So that's what we've decided at this point. We do understand that some of you may be concerned, and if you are, please share those concerns with us. As we say, we are just seeking to work through and try and do this as sensibly and as safely as we can for all of us. So, now to the particularly exciting part of this news, and that is live streaming. We have been pre-recording online worship, and this is a little bit similar but different. We will be, as of the 12th of July, meeting live for worship for 9:15 and the 11 o'clock faith communities. With the 9:15 worship service, we will be live streaming, whereby Tim will have 2 video cameras taking live video feed from the podium, from elsewhere in the church, combining that with the projector feed, and This output will be going live to the internet. So if you happen to be at home, if you are not yet comfortable returning to worship, if you're sick, perhaps if you're travelling, if you're a member of another church or maybe not associated with any faith community, you can still engage online with the Blackwood Uniting Church worship services of a Sunday. You can engage live with maybe as little as a minute's delay, or you can watch the service at any time you like on the YouTube service. We have come to see this ministry, this online ministry, as a significant part of the Blackwood Uniting Church's outreach ministry. And we hope that you will continue to appreciate it as we move back into live worship. It is a most exciting time, and we look forward to seeing all of you in the flesh very soon.